G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Well, Flatzoid, he wants a gas pressure without a container demonstration. Well, very simply, all I need to do is to show the sky. There you go, done. The pressure down here is 14.7 psi on average, and you go up there and it's essentially zero. And we know there is no such thing as a container, as things like meteors drop down into the atmosphere, they get caught up by the Earth's gravity well, and they're sucked down to the ground. Now here is the sky a few nights ago as seen by my meteor camera. Clearly no container anywhere, way up there. Well, then if you don't want to look up at the sky, then how about this? So here we go, we start on the ground, 113.02, and let's go up to here, 112.8. How about that? Pressure changes. Now, Wolfie did this one inside, and I thought I would do it outside, because when he did it inside, some lady said, "Oh, but you're inside the container of the room." Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work here. Ah, that's my meteor camera. Good thing that. So what did we see here? We saw a simple device measuring and calculating and displaying the atmospheric pressure. At the ground it was 1013.03, and 2 meters up it was 1012.84. And then I put it back on the ground and the pressure increased again to the starting pressure. So it seems there is a pressure differential. In other words, the atmo at my feet is 0.2 of a hectopascal higher than the atmo above my head. Now Flatzoid copes with this by calling it a delta. He and Sovereign Souls and Sleepy Warrior like to cope with the delta by following the company line and claiming that there is a gas pressure, and claiming that the gas is made at ground level, so that's where more gas will be. It seems that my bamboo farts are all staying on the ground and not 2 meters up. That's despite the Oldhamite bamboo being over 20 meters tall.
That's why I say this gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
Now this literally contradicts the other thing that they like to say, that is, the free expansion of gas law. You know, gas fills the available space. But it seems the gas is rather lazy and can't be asked getting just 2 meters higher up, where the pressure is observably less. Now that contradicts the frequent statements of gas is moving really fast and having elastic collisions, and would, given half a chance, just scarper off into space at the first sign of there being no containment.
Oops.
Now, the next thing Flatzoid says that contradicts their other previous things that they've been saying is that the atmo is a dynamic system, so gas is moving around. And still, it manages to sit in density stratification gradient all day long. Hurricanes and cyclones and storms, not enough to stir the atmos into a homogeneous soup of pressure.
That's why I say this gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
Oh, and then you can weigh the gas, but only if the said gas is in a box. Open the box and suddenly the weight disappears, because it's now what Flatzoid inventively calls volumetric weight. Oh dear.
Oops. Do you guys have access to bottle rockets? Like they give to kids to
like the sugar rockets. So you use the sugar or the water to pressurize and it pushed up, yeah? You can make it.
No, what they are, they're a little tiny rocket with a fuse on a stick. Yeah. And you usually set up a soda bottle.
Oh, okay, yeah. You get those.
And light the fuse, it'll take off.
Firecrackers.
Right. So here's an interesting thing, man. Shoot one into the water and watch it. Then compare it to what you see when those things go up. It looks exactly like that, just like a bullet hitting water does. Every time it looks exactly that same way.
Exactly. Wow. Just Jeff, good to see you, man. I still believe there's definitely waters above, and that's why you see when you see those rockets hit that you see that like wave ripple effect there. It's like they're definitely skirting off somewhere, and that's something I do believe.
That's why I say this gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
So that is just a lot of hot air, and flirfs want to bring it up all the time. And I just love seeing them cope. And none of them cope harder than David's Sovereign Soul's screw-loose mind.
That's why I say there's gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
And that sound grab is by David, and I've been playing it as he couldn't be any further from the truth. Sovereign Soul's Unchained Mind. David, we thank you.
That's why I say there's gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man. It absolutely is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Dave McKeegan and I were shooting the breeze and wondering just how stupid can Flatty be, and that reminded David to say,
"Hey, Wally, did you see that simulation that Flatzoid used to debate with FTFE the other day? He used an EDU website, so we know he's bound to have cherry-picked that one to pieces."
And to that I said, "No, I did not, David. I bet Flatzoid also missed, or rather didn't show, some interesting simulations on the same site. Let's have a look, shall we? See what else is there." So here is the site Flatzoid used. It's an EDU site in Colorado. So it seems Flatzoid is very much okay with everything these guys want to teach us then. Excellent. So I wonder what other simulations they might have here. Perhaps better suited to answering Flatzoid's questions about gravity affecting gas. I wonder. Oh, here's one about balloons and buoyancy. Well, as we all say, you want buoyancy? You're going to need gravity for that. Okay, so let's run this simulation, shall we? Let's see about gas pressure needing a container and gravity being ineffective. I wonder how they did it. Okay, it's the same sort of dealio. Let's see what this simulation can teach us. So we can squirt two different gases, a heavy and a light species, into the container. Let's squirt in some heavy, and it seems to bounce everywhere like an expanding gas should do. Okay, light. Okay, let's light the hot air balloon and make it lighter, and now the balloon rises. Excellent. Now let's squirt in some of the light stuff, shall we? And do a bit more. And it looks like the two gases are mixing nicely despite the gases being created down low on the right, where the pump is, by the way, Flatzoid. So much for the gradient being due to where the gases originate then.
Oops.
Oh, looky at that slider. You didn't have that slider in your simulation, did you, Flatzoid? I have a feeling this simulation just got a lot more interesting.
That's why I say there's gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
And when we max out gravity, well, it seems that this simulation that we know Flatzoid will not have a problem with, as it's in the same site as the one he used to debate FTFE. This must be approved by Flatzoid then. And we see that there is obvious stratification occurring within the heavier particles going down and, well, sort of going boom boom.
That's why I say there's gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
The balloon is sitting on top of the interface between the heavy and the light particles. How cool is that? A definite downward bias can easily be seen. How about that reality, eh?
Oops.
Oh, look, an opening at the top. Let's open that and watch as all the gas rushes out to fill the available space outside the container. Huh. Seems I've got me some real lazy gas here that can't be bothered getting up and scarpering away immediately. Maybe if we wait a bit.
That's why I say there's gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
Let's heat the balloon and get as much lift as possible. Well, it seems like maybe we only have a small opening. Yeah, that's probably it. The atmosphere on Earth here is totally uncovered, so let's open it all the way up so that it's like the top of the atmosphere with no barriers. Well, isn't that just like reality? There's a few tiny particles that occasionally get the perfect storm of collisions to send them high enough to reach escape velocity and escape the gravity well of Earth. But not one of those big boys is going to make it. Escape velocity here must be a bit of a downer.
The greater the energy is. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's reset and let's only have some big boy gas in the Atmo today. And look what happens if we crank the gravity. Gas goes down, goes right down. Oh, and I wonder what will happen on no gravity day. Place your bets, folks. Hey, would you look at that? The gas just scampers off to fill the available space. Even the balloon decided that go.
Oops.
And let's reset again, and this time let's have no gravity at all. And would you look at all those gas molecules just bouncing around everywhere, perfect elastic collisions, nice and random? And let's make sure we have a goodly amount of both heavy and light species. And look at them being all nice and random. And now, let's turn on gravity. Oh, look at that downward bias. Pressure gradient much? So Flatzoid, I look forward to you reviewing and learning from this simulation from the colorado.edu website. You would not want to be seen as a cherry-picking biased pseudoscientist now, would you, Flatzoid?
That's why I say this gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man.
Oops.